Now, however, before moving into the section of obtaining the remaining part from the $lib string, let us move backwards 2 or 3 steps, okay, because a very important point I had missed out, which is actually which I cannot neglect, which we should keep in mind as a developer, okay. As a developer or as a programmer, these are some important points while working with the pattern matching commands like splitting or regular expression, etc. Okay, so now in this, okay, let me do one more thing. Let me print the file name also. So puts, let me do that. Let me get file tail of $libs. Okay, so this is done. Oh, sorry. So we are done with this. So let me rerun this. So here, now this is the actual file name and this is the splitted list. Okay, list from the file name itself. Okay, so out here, as we have seen, as I had mentioned earlier, the pattern which we wanted to split was HD. However, apart from HD, it has also split it at D, right? This value at D also it has split it, and and this type of issues as a developer we should try to avoid, because whatever pattern we had asked for splitting, say in this case it had worked out because I wanted only this this section of the file name and I could easily obtain it. However, for say other applications where you might need this Sky130 FD, in that case this pattern matching will cause an issue also, and this type of problem is called as false positive problem, where apart from your exact pattern, other patterns also get selected. Okay, and as a developer we should avoid all these, and we should see that the way we match a given pattern, it should not actually make much changes to the original file name. Okay, say and original file name or original input, okay, whatever may be the input. Okay, in this case it's the file name. So out here what happened, from here we can see there is a slight change. We cannot say that this file name we can combine it to get back the exact file name because our D is missing. Okay, and one more thing now, and obviously, and this program we cannot use with other timing libraries of Sky130 because apart from HD they have HVT and LP and so on. So if we split at HD, then this obviously cannot be used in other timing libraries because those timing libraries will not have HD in their file name. Obviously, because this is high density, those are high threshold or whatever example, whatever timing library they have. So we should choose a pattern which we can use not only in this timing library but also in the other timing libraries. And also, as a developer, we should make sure that means we should be very careful while choosing the pattern. So in this case what happens, so we can either use the underscore or we can avoid using the for naming convention I'm talking, we can avoid using the alphabetical and numerical values. Okay, we can use the symbols. Okay, because if we use the symbols it will not make much difference to the naming, original naming, because we will have all the entire name except for the symbols. Okay, so what we can do, we can split it at underscore, double underscore or single underscore, and as I mentioned earlier in Tickle it matches, it will split character by character, so it will be splitting, it will, whether we use double quotes or whether we use single underscore, it will be splitting at each of the underscore. However, our alphabeticals and numerical values will remain intact. So let's do that. So let me split it. So now you can see, like here we got we got a list of the splitted file name which contains all the alphabetical and numerical characteristic or values of the as that of the original file name except for the underscores. Okay, so now, okay, this is what this is an important point which I wanted to make, that we should see that the pattern which we have selected does not affect the naming convention, other part of the naming conventions. Okay, so now, like this list, the splitted list consists of more number of elements. Okay, so 1 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So I have to access the 5th, 6th and 7th element, and using the L index, by using L index we can do that. But however, we will need 3 different variables to extract these 3 different elements in the list. Okay, and I wanted to avoid using 3 different variables. So for that, the best the best command which I had find so far. Okay, if you have any other idea, you can use that. However, okay, so for me, I had used the lrange command, where the input of the lrange is a list. Okay, as in L index. So in this case, our list is this splitted file name, and then from the lrange you give the input the list, and then you have to denote what is the first element you want from the list and the second second element which we want from the list. So here from the list, I want the end element and the n minus 1 and n minus 2 element. So for that, we can simply, in case of TCL it works. Okay, we can use the end minus 2, okay, and end element. So it will give your, it should give your value for it should the PPT corner should be extracted. Okay, so let's do that. So here you can see that we got that. This is what we wanted. So this is n minus 2, this is n minus 1, and this is the n value. However, there is a, because this is again in the form of list. However, I want to avoid this, and I want to avoid these spaces. Okay, now to avoid these spaces, I can simply string map this space into blank space. No, like in previous when we were using the L index, we have seen that we had used 2 string map. Out here one command, there's one command less, and we are getting the desired output, whatever we wanted. So I want the space. So in this case, there is a space, and this space I want to replace by no space. Okay, so this is done. So let's do that. Sure, this is how I got the desired pattern, and this is much better way to get the desired pattern, because the overall naming convention was not much affected. Okay, so now, okay, now out here what we are seeing, that my one more thing I wanted to show, that here the libraries are being selected randomly. Say first the slow library are coming, the slow, then comes the fast library, then slow, and so on and so forth. However, I wanted that my libraries to be in a proper order, alphabetical order. That means I wanted the fast libraries to come ahead of the slow library, and then finally the TT library should come. So for that, what we have to do, I had used a single command, which is the lsort command. Okay, the lsort command, it has number of switches. However, I had not used any of the switches, and for that, please go through the TCL documentation. So the lsort, what it will do, if we do not provide any switch, it will arrange the given files in an alphabetical order. So, okay, let's see that. So here you can see that my FF libraries have come ahead of the SS libraries, and my list is in order. Okay, so this is what I wanted, and this is done. Okay, now we got the PPT corner, we got it in an alphabetical order way, and now next we wanted the stage, which is whether it is post synthesis, post layout, or post CTS. Okay, now however, as I'm going step by step, in this case, yeah, I will first be writing the program for a post synthesis stage, and then we will move ahead from the post CTS and post layout stage. Okay, at this point, I also want to talk about the divide and conquer rule, which approach which I had taken. As you have seen, my main aim was that I wanted to automate the static timing analysis script. Okay, however, I have not reached to the commands of the different commands which is needed for the static timing analysis. At present, I am working with the naming convention only. Okay, after working with the naming convention, after getting the naming convention, okay, first thing is that I got the library file. That was my first step. Okay, then the next is I'm working with the naming convention. Then after that, I will be working for the for the directories, for generating the directories, and then for execution of the static timing analysis for the post synthesis stage. Okay, after getting that, then I will be moving to the other two stages. Okay, so this way you can see I am doing a step by step process, and then later I'll be clubbing them into one. Obviously, however, the program will remain same. Okay, I will not keep on changing my program. But if you want to see a particular section, please just rewind your video. Okay, so next I don't want this to be put. Next is what that I wanted the stage, and the stage of my analysis. Okay, so now for the post synthesis. So in this case, what I have done, let me take another another variable. So let that variable be, that is file name, and say we will name this as stage, suppose stage. So let me do one thing. For this, what I will do, I will simply string map what was dot libs, right? Oh yeah, sorry, I made mistake with string map. However, this as you see, I'll be changing my approach of obtaining this. Okay, so I want this is beginner level, so it's okay. So I'll be changing this to post synthesis. Post synthesis, and the input for the string map is ext. So let's put this and see what will be the output. Missing bracket, I made mistake. Oh yeah, here I forgot to close the bracket of my I had used curly braces started in the square bracket. So here I got post synthesis. This is what I wanted. Okay, so now as I had mentioned earlier, next is I have to create the directories where my reports will be saved, or should I move for the read verilog first? Okay, so for that I'll be using the make directory command, make directory, and I'll be using the flag -p because after running this program, once the folders will be generated, and if we rerun this program, it will not show any error, say like the folder exists and so on. Okay, for this I want my folder to be, it has to be present in output. This will be created. I want that in output directory, and inside the output directory I want the post synthesis folder. So for that I'll simply be using the stage. Okay, then inside the stage I want one is for min max folder I will want. Okay, now next is, I'm still not done with the naming convention. Okay, but that I'll be using, I'll directly be using in the report checks command. Then here the WNS, and next, So Minmax and TNS. So now I am done with my folders. So we are done with the half part of the naming convention. I got PPT and the post synthesis I got. So next let me do one thing. Let me use the so this one, what will I say this as? Naming convention and directory, suppose. Still I'm not done but with the naming convention. Naming convention and make directory. Okay, so next this is done. So next is the different input commands for OpenSTA. Now input, just let me name this section as input OpenSTA commands. Okay, so for that, the first, as I had shown earlier, first is we have to read the liberty. Read liberty. For our case it is the $libs. Now next is we have to read the Verilog, as I had shown earlier, and I had also shown you all the folders where the Verilog is present. It is present in the tickle folder inside the Verilog file. So let me name that Verilog files, and then in the Verilog files I run the synthesis Verilog. Okay, after that I have to link the design. I had already shown you all with the Verilog files and everything. Link design, the name of the module is RVMyth. Next, I have to read the SDC, and the SDC is also present in the Verilog file as we have shown. Read underscore SDC. Let me also show you all the content of the SDC by using the echo command. Okay, which is a Unix command. Read xdc echo, and it is inside the Verilog files. Verilog files, and the name, as we have seen, was rvmyth.sdc. Now these are, in case of post synthesis, these are the input OpenSTA command which are required for its analysis. Okay.